Spoke about Nazis, didn't we? Today I woke up and I saw that someone was trending. Someone beautiful. It was, of course, Gina Carano. Oh, is the picture up?
Yep. There she is. Oh.
Look at her. That's all, woman. She's been fired by Disney. She said bad things in the past. Abhorrent, terrible things, because, you know, she's a conservative and says conservative things, which, of course, terrible thing to do. You must never, ever do that. But apparently the straw that broke the camel. Now, remember, the blue-head gender tourists and such, the leftists on Twitter are apparently now all Star Wars fans and think that these have... We need better actors that could bring more depths to the role of a space cowboy film, yeah? With a track record of incredibly deep characters and great acting. Fuck off. Anyway, the post that broke the back was, I think she put it on Instagram. And it's talking about how people, other people, okay? Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbours, even by children, and then a sad face. Now, she does a quote here to give that some context, because on its own, it doesn't mean anything, right? Because history is edited. Most people today don't realise that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbours hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Now, if you aren't an outrage farming from fucking Twitter, and that wasn't very politically correct, was it? I'm not allowed to say that. If you aren't an outrage farming on Twitter or fucking Instagram, what that means is you don't just get Nazis shipping loads of, you know, bad things start at a small level. They other you. They dehumanize you. They take away your right to speak by saying you're the bad one. They never really have to give a lot of context around that. They just have to make you the bad one. And any narrative repeated becomes the narrative that can't be forgotten. The Russians proved that in research that they released, where they found that if you have a negative thing and reinforce it often enough with regularity, over and over and over again, after a certain amount of time, if you turn around and go, actually, that's not true, people cannot believe you. They have been conditioned. This is ordinary people. It's just... it becomes a part of them. She's made a point about that. Now, anyone would see that. No, she's an anti-Semite now, comparing conservatives to Jews. What a terrible woman. I am offended. If you sent half of them the Seth Rogen question, which is, are you a Jew? I don't know why I keep sending that to people. Have you seen that, Graham?
Yeah.
Are you a Jew? What? Yes.
Someone really needs to give him a shit film to work on, because he's got too much time on his hands at the moment.
Just needs to do something. Having an argument with Count Dankula in DM. What a fucking loser.
Over shit he knows nothing
Do
about.
it in public.
I know.
Yeah, so she's hateful. She's an anti-Semite. Now, the interesting thing that her co-star, Pedro Pascal, who once had his head popped on Games of Thrones... I've seen that. Have you seen Gaming of Thrones?
I have. I've done all sorts of games.
Many things. Armour, knights, stabbing. Yeah. I appreciate any programme with stabbing in it. You know that.
There was a dragon as well, wasn't there?
There was a big one that set fire to things. With a lady on it. It's very good. Very good. But Pedro Pascal, who is the Mandalorian, a series I enjoy immensely and will continue to do despite Disney's obvious fucking shitbox virtue signalling hypocrisy. Remember, Disney's very friendly with the CCP and were not long ago filming near one of the concentration camps in China, but didn't mind. Actually, thank the government for letting them film near there. Good call. Pedro put a meme out saying, times Nazis have failed and it was the actual Nazis and the KKK, then a MAGA hat. So it's okay for him to call a bunch of red hat wearing boomers Nazis. But But nobody says he's denigrating the Jewish people, because that's like saying, hey, Jews, you were killed by a load of fucking old men in red hats. Pussies. You can call anyone a Nazi, that's fine. But the minute someone makes a perfectly salient point of how this kind of hatred is spawned and how it's created and how it spreads, Nazi. You're a Nazi. It's thrown around now. It means nothing. Nazi, transphobe, bigot. I love the fact that people who are the most intolerant of the opinions of others call me a bigot. That's fantastic. So this is all happening and people are celebrating wildly. And I do mean wildly that she's been fired. They're so happy. I'm not, because I've kind of got a thing for Gina Carano. I don't know it. So every time I think of it, it's oh, woman. I bet she can fucking cook as well. And eat.
Yeah.
And then break your fucking back if you put the toilet roll on backwards.
You'd want to be a bit naughty now and again, though, wouldn't you? Get on a bad side.
She's also been dropped by a talent agency, you know.
Yeah, apparently.
They've shit-canned her as well, because why would you represent someone that makes factual points?
It's fucking insane. And it's like what you said before about just repeating the lie over and over. That's all he did. They're sharing the same screen grabs over and over, adding context every time.
A guy kept going on to me. I explained it. I think it was a guy, might be a woman. Don't know how to tell these days. And I was like, you are just stupid. Why don't you understand? You know, Fat Belly says she's not into chubbies. Fuck you! Fuck you! She might be. In my imagination, she is. In my imagination, Gina Carano craves a broken down, fat, bald, middle-aged man from Manchester. Who are you to shit on my chips, you fat Irish bastard? He is Irish, isn't he, Fat Belly? Yeah, he is. I didn't want to... Hang on, misgender? No, Miss Country, Miss Foreign. I didn't want to Miss Foreign you. Hope you appreciate that.
Miss Cunt's all right for the Irish, isn't it, really? You could just say Miss Cunt. If it's Irish, it's all right. You Miss Cunt. Sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything, but it's appropriate.
Stephen says we should offer her a job on trigger warning. I've DM'd her. I don't think she'll respond. I think the dick pic was a mistake. It wasn't mine. Just one I found on Google.
I'd appreciate if you stopped sending pictures of my junk to people.
Oh, it definitely wasn't your junk either.
You would have got a reply then.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Could you just shave, mate? What are you doing? Just tidy it up a bit down there.
I'm sick and fucking tired of the way the world's going. I fucking hate it. I feel like I've been cheated. I'm 48. I should be settling down towards slacks, casual racism and sexism, and sitting in the pub. But no, I'm out there, obviously working, earning a living, trying new projects, things like that, building websites for people, trying to give platforms to people who'll speak out. I'm still doing all that shit. Why? Because young people are fucking weak. I'm supposed to be saying, you crazy bastards, calm down. You know, when we were young, we were much more respectful. We weren't. I want young people to be flaming arseholes and genuinely progressive. To challenge my view of the world by expanding it, not contracting it. I despair that they get up in the morning and start fucking crying because there's a statue of some cunt who's been dead for 200 years, but he once did something bad. Screaming at me about Winston fucking Churchill. What a terrible man he was. Why would we venerate the man that, you know, without whom we'd be fucked right now? No, and then I have to point out, if you didn't like him, you're not going to like the other guy. But they probably do. Because the far left is vehemently anti-Semitic. There's no getting past it. No socialist worker bods. I don't mean the people working there. I don't know about them. But the people online... vehemently anti-Semitic. Fuck, they might like a bit of Hitler, to be honest. That authoritarianism, they fucking love it. There's never been a boot they didn't like on the back of their fucking neck, but in their imaginations, They're the ones that are treading on other people's necks. I despair of what's happening to the world. I despair of the world my son's going to grow up in. How can anyone sit idly by, being quiet for fear of being cancelled? I mean, yeah, for ordinary people like us, it's a concern. But I'm sorry, I admire Gina Carano, not because, you know, she's got money, but she's got a career and she's fucked it off for principles. I don't even have to agree. That's the way it should be. Stand for something. Once in your life, you've got to stand for something. And it always comes with a cost. If it doesn't come with a cost, you waited too long and let everyone else do the standing for you. Do something. Be honest in thought and fucking deed.